How would you like to improve your health and keep your family safe? You're listening to the Healthy Home Hacks podcast, where we firmly believe enjoying optimal health shouldn't be a luxury. Healthy Home Authorities and husband and wife team Ron and Lisa will help you create a home environment that will level up your health. It's time to hear from the experts. Listen in on honest conversations and gain the best tips and advice. If you're ready to dive in and improve your well-being and increase your energy, you're in the right place. All right, here are your hosts, bowel biologists, authors, media darlings, vicarious vegans, and avocado aficionados, Ron and Lisa Barris.
Friends, it's time to take control of your health, breathe better, and sleep more soundly. This episode of Healthy Home Hacks is brought to you by IQ Air, first in air quality, a top air quality technology company for over 60 years. IQ Air is the maker of award-winning medical-grade air filtration solutions that are Swiss-made. It's the air purifier Ron and I sleep with every night. And they just launched their new Health Pro Plus XE air purifier. This Mac Daddy boasts a fan that's 3 times more energy efficient than previous models. Plus, it's got intelligent sensors that measure indoor pollution levels and activate and adjust based on real-time air quality. It's got smart app integration and, of course, a medical-grade air filtration with a hyper HEPA technology proven to capture 99.5% of particles down to 0.003 microns. Guys, that means powerful protection from allergens, smoke, and even bacteria and viruses that you'd otherwise be breathing in. Visit them at iqair.com. Then click on air purifiers in the top taskbar to find the ideal solution for you and your family. Happy breathing.
Hi, friends, and welcome back to Season 8. We took a short break after reaching our 100th podcast episode. Thank you so much for being here and being a loyal subscriber. We appreciate you for being a big part of this show. Okay, let's get down to the brass tacks. Do you or have you suffered from allergies, chronic sinus issues, dry nose with chronic crusting? Oh, yes, we are going there. Or do you use a CPAP machine? If so, you're in the right place, guys, because today we're taking a deep dive into your nose. No, we really are.
Have you ever thought about the health of your nose? I mean, it's often overlooked as an important aspect of our overall health. Think about it. When we breathe through the nose, germs, allergens, toxins, smoke, dust, and particles can get trapped in the skin and hair inside our nostrils. Think about it. The nose is a direct link between the outside air and our respiratory system. Contaminants in the air can cause inflammation and lead to an allergic response, sinus issues, and other respiratory problems. Our nose literally functions like an air filter for the body, and it's important to keep air filters clean, right? Someone who is here to shed light is our guest, Dr. Lebovic.
Dr. Lebovic is an international recognized oncoplastic surgeon, a patient advocate, and an inventor and a serial entrepreneur. Along with her team, she has developed numerous innovative products, successfully bringing them to the market. Dr. Lebovic was awarded the 2023 Woman in Innovation Award for Leadership. She has been selected from over 1,500 candidates 2 years in a row for the Women in Business Stevie Award, taking home the gold prize in 2023 as Female Innovator of the Year and the bronze in 2022 for Women Leaders in Business. She also was presented with the Monumental Alumni Award from George Washington University.
And Dr. Lebovic received the prestigious Pathfinder Lifetime Achievement Award and the Spirit of Achievement Award from the American Cancer Society. Currently, Dr. Lebovic serves as founder and CEO of Silicon Valley Innovations, Inc. The company is focused on bringing novel drug delivery platforms to the multi-billion-dollar nasal healthcare and feminine healthcare markets. She holds over 50 U.S. patents and is a member of the Forbes Business Council.
He has served as director of several important clinical programs and is the founder of the Society of Oncoplastic Surgery. Dr. Lebovic remains involved in global, philanthropic, and educational efforts. Without further ado, welcome to the show, Dr. Lebovic. Yes.
Oh my goodness. Thank you, Ron and Lisa. What a joy it is to join you guys. I'm super excited. Thank you for that incredible introduction.
We had to trim it down. You have so many awards.
I know. That's
my
a
God.
very short version.
Stop. But thank you. Love to be here. You guys are doing incredible work with your podcast. Don't think I haven't listened to you guys. I have.
Oh,
we got a little looky-loo on our hands. We got a looky-loo.
Betcha. Yeah, I'm a stalker.
A stalker. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, no, you really are quite impressive. And it was really amazing meeting you face to face. And that's why you're here today, is we actually met at an event in LA. And, you have a really interesting background. Can you share with our listeners a little bit about how you got started and your interest as a physician in helping people stay healthy?
Thanks so much for that. Yeah, it just happened one step at a time. Literally, I was inspired when I was young because I was a gymnast. I grew up in Los Angeles. I was a gymnast, had a severe injury early in life, screwed up my knee. So I had the misfortune of interacting with the medical system very early in life, and I had surgery and was inspired by my surgeon. And I thought, you know what, this is cool. He fixed my leg. I can get back to gymnastics and skiing and doing all that cool stuff. So at a very young age, I decided to become a doctor.
Wow.
And, it's a long story. I don't think we have that much time on your podcast. But one thing led to another. And then ultimately, I fell in love with doing surgery and went into specialize in breast surgery. And did a lot of changes both on the clinical side and technology. And it's been an amazing ride. Kind of hard to believe even to this day, but it's not stopping anytime soon.
Yeah, you are not stopping.
No.
It's very incredible. And we talked before the show oncoplastic surgeon. Can you explain to listeners what that is?
Sure. So when a woman's diagnosed with breast cancer, and nowadays we do a much better job at that, right? We find those cancers early because women get in for their screening mammography. They don't even necessarily feel a tumor. So we get a chance to get in there and we can do breast conserving surgery where we save the breast. We can do reconstruction, and oncoplastics is a way to do this kind of surgery, taking the full woman into account before you do surgery, before you make that first incision. You need to have a good plan. You need to know what that outcome is going to be. And we're inspiring surgeons around the world to do a better job.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because now it's 1 in 8 women in their life is diagnosed with breast cancer. And so let this be a reminder, listeners, to get those screenings and do your self breast exams too. And like you said, I didn't even know that you could have a tumor and not even feel it. Because usually it's the lump, right? It's the lump that everybody.
No, nowadays, 60% of all cancers are found that we cannot feel. So they're found by mammography. So screening mammography all day long saves lives. Thanks for reminding everybody, in your listening audience about that. It's so important.
Yeah, no need to wait till October. We can talk about it now.
Absolutely.
Right.
Every day for me is breast cancer awareness.
Yeah,
day.
right. It should be every day.
So, yeah.
Well, we're lucky to have you there. Well, Dr. Lebovic, as a breast surgeon, what inspired you to create a product designed for cleaning your nose?
I love this question.
We went from the breast to the nose.
Crazy.
Right.
So I did a lot of reconstruction, obviously, and we use implants, which is a foreign material that we implant into the body. Those types of surgeries have a very high risk for infection. Right. And through that experience, I learned that the nose, our noses, every single one of our noses is a repository for filthy stuff. Okay.
What filthy stuff?
Well, we all know. Do we need to go there?
Yeah, you do need to know. This is critical. It's chock full of bacteria and obviously viruses, toxins, allergens. Just like you said, Lisa, it's all true. The air that we breathe, 80% of upper respiratory diseases, that stuff is coming in through your nose.
Oh, interesting.
80%.
Wow.
So our poor little noses right here, front and center, they're bombarded, overwhelmed every day with junk.
And we don't pay attention to it. Nobody pays attention to their nose. I mean, until they have to, right?
Yeah. Or until they're driving in the car and they start picking their nose.
Don't do that, guys. Listeners, don't. We see you. We see you in the
That's
car
right.
next to you.
We're watching you. Well, Dr. Lebovic, what happens if you use a nose trimmer and you don't have nose hairs? Is it worse or better for you for all these germs coming in your nose?
That's another great question. I don't know if it's worse or better. I can't answer that question. I think trimming is not a bad idea for some people, you know.
Oh, well, thank you. Thanks for noticing.
If you got straggly hairs, guys, trim. Get the trimmer. Save us all. Do us all a favor.
But clean the hair at least. Let's keep the hair and the skin inside the nose clean.
Yeah.
Right? We're just helping the nose do a better job. It does a great job, but these days we're inundated and overwhelmed, and it's right smack dab in the middle of your face. So keep it clean.
Keep it clean. We just interviewed a doctor, a naturopath, who talked about ADHD being linked to a fungus that gets in the nose and up through the nasal cavity. And like, we have so much increase these days in these types of disorders, right? Behavioral disorders, learning disorders, these things. And who would ever think that your nose health could be linked to that?
Well, your nose is directly linked to your respiratory system, again, as you mentioned in the intro. And I think we're just scratching the surface on what we understand about our noses and the nose's job in our overall health.
Yeah.
So we've seen, even in the short time that we've been using NasoCleanse, about 20,000 people at least have used NasoCleanse to date in the last year.
Wow. Wow.
And we have seen massive improvements in health. And it totally makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Wash your hands, brush your teeth, clean your nose.
We clean our ears. I clean my ears every day.
We clean every other orifice.
Clean your orifices. Yeah. So,
right.
And I mean, Ron and I talk about air purification all the time, and we talk about different air purifiers and what to look for. And they all have a pre-filter, right? Every air purifier has a pre-filter, even the water filtration. So stages of filtration. So it makes sense when you think about the nose hairs being like a pre-filter. So many people complain and struggle with nasal and sinus issues. Can you help us understand why we're seeing this and what some of the contributing factors are that people face every day that result in these health issues?
Sure. I think what happens, again, we're not conscious of this, but the air is coming in through our nostrils. Stuff gets trapped in the hair and the mucus, right? Mucus is kind of the body's natural defense to try to ward these things off. Then that stuff crusts up in your nose. People start picking their nose. They're sticking their finger that has bacteria up their nose. Then it goes into the sinuses. Then you get sinus infections, inflammation, and the whole thing just repeats over and over. Ultimately, it gets into your lungs. Right. And that's where we see, over 10 million visits a year to the doctor for upper respiratory illness.
Wow.
Right.
That's really interesting. I had read that you can transfer parasites by picking your nose. So like, you think about how dirty your hands are and all these things that you're touching all day. And then, people who are putting their fingers in their nose, it's like, hello, how would you not get sick? I mean, unless you're constantly washing your hands, there's like, no.
Well, and we touch our faces at least 7 times an hour. And that is usually our nose, right? People wipe their nose. And we learned in surgery, back to surgery and this connection, we learned that if you decontaminate the nose before surgery, you can decrease surgical infection by 60%.
Oh, wow.
That was published in the New England Journal of Medicine back in 2010. And so it always stuck in my mind. Yeah. And I was like, why can't we come up with a way that's comfortable, convenient, and effective to clean our noses? Something so simple.
Right. Solving that problem.
Now, if only there was an entrepreneur who was a doctor that can create this product to clean. Right.
So I had to do that. I had to go.
We're going to tell you guys that. Hang on. We got the solution. So nose pickers, hang on. We have a solution for you.
Plenty to learn. So Dr. Lebovic, as a physician, what do you envision for the future in terms of how we can help our noses be healthier? And do you think this will help people maintain better health? And in what ways?
Great question. You guys are full of them, aren't you? Well, ancient times, they actually recognized that the nose was really important and central to health. And they started the art of Ayurveda. Have you ever heard of that?
Yes. Ayurvedic medicine. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yes. And that entailed rinsing the nose,
Oh, yeah.
right? And
We
we
do
know
that.
a lot of people, yes, who rinse the
neti
nose.
pot.
Yeah. And the thing about that is it's good, but it's kind of like using mouthwash instead of brushing your teeth, right?
Okay.
Right.
So our team actually decided to come up with something that was very analogous to a toothbrush to clean and moisturize the nose and really get that stuff out of there and lead to better health, just
And no-
overall better health.
And no crusting.
And no crusting.
No
Let's get the crust
No need
out of
for
there.
neti pot.
No need to pick.
Because would you say the neti pot, do you like and recommend it in conjunction with your product?
I do.
Okay, so neti pot's good.
Absolutely. Neti pot is good. You know, it's helping by dilution,
Yeah.
right? So again, like rinsing your hands or using mouthwash,
Mhm.
whereas the product that we've invented, which is called Nasal Cleanse,
Nasal cleanse.
oddly enough, is like a gentle little toothbrush
Yeah.
Right.
to scrub your nose.
There it is. There it is. We got a visual,
There it is.
but it's soft. There's no actual bristles.
Very soft.
Yeah. Very, very soft.
But it's anatomically designed. It has these special leaflets to get in there and get rid of the crust. And also it works with the gel in conjunction with the special gel that we've created just for the nose. Again, it's all specially designed for the nose, and it'll moisturize, which is important as well.
Yeah. Right. Moisturize. And so you have one sizes for children too?
We do have a mini that's coming out hopefully
Okay.
by the end of the year. We
Yeah.
have lots of things
'Cause
happening.
That's a big issue with kids. Like they're always putting their fingers
Huge.
everywhere. Yeah.
But they actually can use the current one.
Okay.
You don't have to stick it all the way up there, just to
Right.
comfort, just to
Okay.
comfort. Hmm.
And why do you think nasal hygiene isn't a part of our regular hygiene routine? Why has it been so ignored, would you say?
You know, one day there wasn't a toothbrush either, and it wasn't
Yeah.
that long
Oh.
ago.
Really?
And it wasn't that long ago. It was in the late 1800s.
Okay.
And look, if we look back at history, which we love to do in medicine, people were losing their teeth. They had wooden teeth. Remember, George Washington had wooden teeth? Yeah.
Yeah, right. Wooden teeth.
Oh, yeah.
And they died young. Once we started to incorporate oral hygiene,
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
people started to live longer because the bacteria get on other parts of your body, like your heart valves, causes heart disease, causes all sorts of nasty issues.
Yeah.
So I have a very firm belief that when we start taking care of our noses, we're all going to be healthier. I know.
Wow.
Wow.
I want to ask you, going back to the surgery comment, because I thought that was so interesting that the results of that, once they sanitize a nose before surgery, are what percentage of doctors are doing that? And could your product become like part of a staple in surgery that has to be used before each surgery?
You are right on the money, man. Let me tell you.
Okay.
Wow.
That's the plan.
That is why I started the company, actually. And believe it or not, I started working on this idea in October of 2019.
Okay.
Okay. That's when I started designing and doing all the engineering and things like that. Well, we all know what happened in early 2020,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so I was like, ooh, I think we have much broader potential and application here than just doing it before surgery,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
The surgical data and information is a wonderful example in a very controlled environment of how cleaning your nose can help prevent infection. It's
Mm.
obvious. And so what we've done is extrapolated on that and said, well, okay, let's make something gentle and comfortable that people could use every day or when they're traveling.
When they're traveling, I was thinking that before you hop on that plane, get in the airport and the crowded
Absolutely.
trains and buses. Yeah, that's great.
Wash your hands, scrub your nose, and go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cleanse your nose.
Nice work.
Don't just blow and go.
Don't blow and go.
No, blow and go.
Should you blow? Okay, that's a question. Should you blow your nose first and then use your nose plunger? Or
Yeah, that's
nasal
a good
cleanse?
idea.
Yeah,
I would
okay.
think so.
Yeah, okay. Just double checking. I want to make sure I'm doing it right here. Okay, so we're going to switch gears a little bit. Nowadays, you hear a lot about CPAP, right? Can you help our listeners understand more about that? And is that somewhere Nasal Cleanse can help with? Particularly, can they help CPAP users with your product?
Yeah. So, CPAP is something I've learned a lot about in just the last couple of years. I obviously, as a physician, had known about it, but I didn't understand how dramatic it can be in helping people with their health. So CPAP stands for continuous positive airway pressure, right? And what it does, people are unaware of this, but when they sleep, a lot of people, their tongue falls back in the throat and it blocks the airway and they snore, right? Or they hold their breath. So they actually stop breathing during their sleep.
Oh.
This is a huge healthcare problem. It causes high blood pressure, strokes. It puts you at risk for heart disease, all sorts of things. And so over the last 15 to 20 years, CPAP has become a huge worldwide effort to help people with their health during sleep.
Yeah.
It turns out a lot of people get on the CPAP program, but then they don't use it. So compliance is terrible.
Really?
It's around about 40% because of the nose. The air goes through the nose, through little tubes in the nose, and then it dries out their nose and it becomes itchy and uncomfortable throughout the night.
Okay.
So there was an ENT doctor in Dallas, Texas, who actually did a study using nasal cleanse before and after CPAP on his patients. And the compliance increased.
Because it's not as dry. And so you're not.
It's not as dry. It's not as itchy.
Right.
They loved it and incorporated it into their daily, nightly routine.
Nice.
It also did decrease the bacteria in their nose. So what I found interesting was, there's a lot of attention focused on cleaning the equipment, like you were saying.
Right.
Clean an air filter. So they were cleaning their CPAP equipment, but not cleaning their nose.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense. So how often do you need to use the nasal? And that's nasal cleanse with a Z. How often? Once a day, twice a day?
It's totally up to the individual because everybody is so different. I personally use it every day. I use it when I travel in an airplane because the humidity is very low, 1% in a plane. It's probably why you always get sick when you're traveling, right? Because your nose cracks on the inside, makes you more susceptible to bacteria and viruses. So we want to clean and moisturize before we hop on a plane, after, if I go to the movies, if I do stuff like that or go to the casino.
Wow. Okay. We need to hang around you. We're not going to get any.
It's really like saying, how often should you use hand sanitizer?
Yeah. Or wash your hands.
Brush your teeth. It's very much personal. I was listening to one of your podcasts with Mr. Menendez from the Allergy and Asthma.
Oh, yes. AAFA. Yeah.
Yeah. AAFA. And I think he was the one who mentioned like over 100 million people suffer from nasal or chronic sinus and allergy type symptoms. And that's true.
Yeah. Which brings me to my next question. There are millions of people throughout the world that suffer from allergies, some seasonal and some are year round. What role does the nose play in allergies? And doesn't the nose have a way of cleaning itself? Like, do we need this extra step?
Well, the nose is probably the most important player in allergies, right? Because again, front and center, and it's what helps us understand how much air is being filtered through the nose. It's a lot, right? And we're not even conscious of it. So I think that's fascinating.
We breathe more through our nose than our mouth. Yeah, we're not walking around like
we do.
Right. Yeah.
Even though we don't think about it. So let's talk about the allergies first. Another study that was done out of Fresno, California, really interesting little study done with a big agricultural company. They grow all the fruit that we eat, that we see at Costco and that we, get at Trader Joe's. They grow all that stuff for us.
Okay.
And they have a lot of workers out in the field. They're exposed to dust and, mold and all sorts of things, obviously, that they're breathing. This company has its own clinic for their employees because they suffer so much with allergies.
Wow.
Interesting.
And so they want to help them stay healthy. And so they did a study using nasal cleanse. They took the most severe allergy sufferers and they brought them in and they had them use nasal cleanse twice a day for 2 weeks. And they saw an 84% reduction in allergy symptoms.
Wow.
Big impact.
That makes sense, right?
It does make sense. It's not rocket science. It's not the next iPhone,
Yeah.
Wow.
And it's going back to something we talk so much about on the podcast is always getting to the root of the problem versus just patching, right? So the allergy medication is treating the symptom, whereas like your thing is catching this before you even get to that point, which I love. Like just another step in prevention. And and being the healthiest you can be, being proactive with your health.
Yeah, absolutely.
I feel like we're having a moment in history, like when someone first talked to the guy who invented the Q-tip, right?
Yes,
we're having that experience now. We're going to save this one. We're going to say like, I remember when, right? So can you walk us through how nasal cleanse specifically is helpful for someone who might have allergies? How would that be helpful?
Yeah, it's very significant. Some people with allergies have chronic sinusitis, which is because the mucous membranes in the nose and the sinuses are constantly being bombarded. They're working overtime. They're manufacturing a lot of mucus, then they get inflamed. And it's just a bad situation. It's like having a scab that gets infected and you're constantly scratching in it. You can't get any relief. So just like Lisa said, we've got to go back to basics. Let's clean the front door, the front part of the nose. And ultimately that will help things settle down. Now, a lot of allergy sufferers are on medicated sprays.
Yeah.
And those sprays are just masking the symptoms, but they're not getting at the root cause. And you may need both, but we've seen a lot of people get off of those medications.
That's fantastic. Allergy sufferers, there is hope. And would you say for asthma?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Asthma too? Would this apply to asthmatics?
Remember, the nose and the lungs intimately connected.
Yeah.
That same study reported a 71% reduction in coughing in these same patients.
Wow.
So I think there's good evidence, early evidence, obviously. This is early. This is, a small study.
Yeah.
But I think these people will find that it's going to be pretty significant when they start cleaning their noses.
Yeah. And snorers too. So we talked about snoring with the CPAP, but I mean, a lot of people that are snoring because they're congested. So would that alleviate potentially snoring issues in some people?
We haven't looked at that specifically, but I think there's also hope for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would love to hear from people who do use it, who snore.
Yeah.
Are you asking for a friend, Lisa?
No, we should give Dr. Lebovic, we should give away a couple nasal cleanse.
Sure.
That would be fun to some listeners. Maybe.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Are you up with that? Okay. I know I totally put you on the spot.
Here you go.
There we go. Okay. We'll create when this podcast airs. So you'll be listening.
Perfect.
We'll do a contest on Instagram and we'll give away a couple winners. We'll talk about the details after, but we'll give away a couple winners to try this out. And it'd be awesome to get your feedback, guys. Did you stop snoring? Are you breathing better? Are you feeling better? Have you noticed a difference in your nose picking? Reduction in your nose picking.
Right.
A lot of allergy sufferers have like these sneezing attacks. Have you ever heard of that? Where they sneeze like 30 times in a row?
Oh, no, I didn't know it was 30. Okay.
Oh, yeah. We have had a lot of feedback on that it just stops the sneezing.
It makes so much sense.
Wow.
It's such an incredible invention. Like you found a need and you fit it and you fit the need.
Thank you.
Right.
So can you leave listeners with some tips that you can provide about maintaining wellness during cold, flu, and allergy season?
Yeah, I'd like to stay healthy. Look, I think you guys are on the same page, right?
Yes.
If you keep your environment healthy and you keep your body as healthy as you can, you're going to live a healthier, happier life, period.
Right.
That includes everything, though. It includes nutrition because you are what you eat.
Yes.
It includes water, drinking a lot of water.
Yeah.
I love vitamins. I love vitamin C, especially. I recommend people take at least 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day,
Okay.
Okay.
Some of that you can get from food, fruits, obviously, citrus fruits and things like that. I love vitamin D3.
D3 specific.
D3, it's just like the nose. It's so overlooked.
Okay.
Oh my God.
How much D3? Yeah.
That was in unison.
Well, obviously people should check with their doctors before they
Right.
do anything or any routine.
Yeah.
But my personal routine is 1,000 milligrams of vitamin C a day, and I take it in liquid form.
Okay.
So I dissolve it in water or whatever.
Yep.
Vitamin D3, I take anywhere from 2,500 to 5,000 international units a day.
Okay.
Okay.
Those two things are great.
Yeah.
Zinc is something else that's really good for you.
We do that every day. And D. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Zinc is great.
And these are just basics, obviously.
Right.
Everybody's a little bit different.
Everybody's different. And I think that started with COVID that woke us all up to take these things, right?
Elderberry is another good one. I love natural things that are occurring on our planet
Right.
that we can use to stay healthy.
Yeah. And how about glutathione? We did a whole episode of
Yes,
glutathione.
absolutely.
Okay. Glutathione's a good. That doctor, The Power of Glutathione is her book. She talked about it as the master antioxidant. It's just like a no-brainer to add that. But it has to have, I think it's called Certia or something. Certia, there's something in the glutathione that it has to have that. When you go looking, don't buy the cheapest glutathione out there. That goes for everything, right?
Goes for everything. But what's nice about this is when you start to look at how to stay healthy, these things are ubiquitous. They help your immune system. They help your cardiovascular system. They help your brain. You mentioned, I just want to touch on this really quick. You mentioned earlier something about
ADHD. Yeah.
HD and the nose. Well, let me tell you, we are going to learn a lot about the nose because there's also been a study that has linked Alzheimer's to a certain bacteria in the nose.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah. 99% of Alzheimer's patients has this one very rare bacteria in their nose. It was a study out of Australia. And I found it fascinating. I think, and for us as a company, we're starting with cleansing, but trust me, we're going to be moving right into drug delivery systems, utilizing the nose so that we can deliver drugs more effectively locally. The nose is a great place for absorption of medications. So stay tuned on that.
Stay tuned. More to come. Now, what do you think about the brain and the nose? Like they are so close together. So obviously with Alzheimer's, so the nose, bacteria and fungus and all that could affect our brain.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And they're connected, by the way. So at the base of the brain, right up here, right in there, is what we call the ethmoid sinus, right? And it's kind of the weakest link. It's where there's the most potential for germs, things like that, like meningitis, you can get through your nose, right? Going up and tracking in there and crossing over into the brain. So I'm telling you, I think we're just at the tip of the iceberg here.
This is fascinating. I'm so glad we are having this conversation today. Now, let's say somebody has COVID or something similar. Can they still use the swabs during that? Would it help? Would it alleviate?
You can absolutely use it, anytime, all throughout. It's just like using a neti pot, right? I love to use a neti pot when I'm sick, if I have anything going on up there.
Yeah.
Which is not very often anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know. I can't remember. Yeah. I can't really remember.
I had a really bad sinus infection years and years and years ago and went to it's Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra has a center in Carlsbad at the La Costa.
La Quinta? No.
It's La Costa in Carlsbad.
La Costa. Yeah.
He has a center. And then I don't know if it's his, but it's there. And it's an Ayurvedic center. At least it was there. And I got this sinus treatment and it was really amazing. And they were pouring water on my head and did drainage in my nose. And at the end, they gave me these beautiful oil drops to put in my nose to like lubricate it. And I bought a bottle to take home. And I love to use it after I did the neti pot. So like, maybe that'll be next on your list. Doing like lubricating drops.
Well, the gel that we created is lubricating.
Okay. So you just need the gel.
It's moisturizing for that reason. And Ron, you made me realize something when we met in Los Angeles.
Okay.
And you mentioned it again today. Dry nose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I figured out why so many people have dry nose. A lot of them are using saline solutions, right?
Oh.
And, when you get in a saltwater pool or you go in the ocean and you sit in there for a long time, you're
a prune. You become a prune, right?
You become a prune.
Right.
That's because the salt water sucks the moisture out of the tissue, which is what's happening in the nose.
Gotcha.
So interesting. Okay. So if someone wears contacts and they're using saline solution, does that affect your nose as well? Would it dry it up because it's saline too? Does it get in there?
I don't think from the eye it would, but if you're rinsing your nose with saline solution, you're definitely drying your mucous membranes.
Right.
Which is what they tell you to do with the neti pot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which is why 155 million people suffer from chronic nasal problems.
Oh, geez. That makes sense.
So I think the moisturizing part is equally important as the cleansing.
Right. Okay. That's a great point. So your ingredients in this, it's an antiseptic and then it's also a moisturizer, correct? So it's
cleanse and moisturize.
Moisturizing.
Wow.
Oh my gosh. This was great. This is the first time we've ever talked about the nose health on Healthy Home Hacks.
Yay.
Yay. Yay. The nose knows, guys. The nose
That's right. The nose knows.
And keep it simple.
Keep it simple. Is there anything else you'd like to leave listeners with? We're going to do the giveaways, but that'll be when this airs. So yeah.
Yeah, no, I just really want to thank you guys for doing what you're doing. I think you are helping so many people. You know, it's soup to nuts, right? Take care of your environment, take care of your body. You're going to live a healthier, happier life. And I just really appreciate being on the show. I don't know if you've seen, but we just had a little thing come out about our Amazon sales. We are now in all 50 states.
Excellent.
Yes.
The only one missing is Alabama. So anybody in Alabama,
Come on, Alabama. Get with the program.
they
Let's
get a
do it.
special prize.
Yeah, anyone can win except Alabama. Sorry, guys.
No, we'll send them a special prize.
There you go.
So really appreciate
That is
being
fantastic.
here today. Thank you
Thank
so much.
you so much. Thanks for what you do and all the incredible inventions besides what we're talking about today. Thank you for being with us and friends. To learn more about Nasal Cleanse, visit them at Naso, that's NASOCLENZ.com. They've got so many convenient options, including home and travel kits. And you can find their store locator tab to find a nasal cleanse near you.
And you can find all of the show notes in its new location at healthyhomehacks.com. How easy is that, guys? Just go there. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to our show so we can continue to bring you the best interviews to up-level your health and life. See you in the next episode. Bye. Thanks, Dr. Lebovic.
Bye. Thanks.
Bye.
Dr.
Thank
Lebovic.
you.
This episode of the Healthy Home Hacks podcast has ended, but be sure to subscribe for more healthy living strategies and tactics to help you create the healthy home you've always dreamed of. And don't forget to rate and review so we can continue to bring you the best content. See you on the next episode.